Hi folks, Howard Jones here. I've got a short one for you this week, a little bit pushed for time, but I wanted to show you what I do with leftover paint. I've taken this photograph. It's a roof view from a neighbouring building of the city of Cardiff in South Wales, and if you saw my last week's video, you'll see that I was painting from imagination a lake scene, which resulted in a lot of wasted paint. I was working off a plate, and sometimes when I get a lot of paint like that, I simply just mix it into a big puddle, pour it into a container and keep it as a neutral. So that's what I've done. I've just used a neutral. It was, it sort of befitted the scene. It was quite a grey scene, so there's a lot of neutral colours in there. However, there was a lot of brightness to some reflected highlights, which I really liked about it. So that's what I did, and I've just got this, as I say, short tutorial now, really mainly working in monochrome. So here we go. I'll sort of explain it as we go through. So there was no drawing. I just picked up a mop brush with a good point. It's a great brush. It holds lots and lots of water and paint, but as I say, has a really good point. So I just plotted out the main shapes here, directly with paint. And what you're seeing me do here is just picking up some darker tones. If I had to describe the colour that's in the puddle, it would be a warm grey. So there was a lot of burnt sienna and ultramarine blue in it. I think that's what made up most of the colour. What I have done is I've just put a little bit more burnt sienna on the edge of my plate, and a little bit of cerulean blue, so that I can still sort of adjust the neutral, the general overtone of the neutral, with the slightly warmer areas and cooler areas from the cerulean blue and burnt sienna. Just kept everything really rich in this area. And I'll just pop that photo up so you can see that all I'm picking out in the photograph really is the shapes, the light shapes, the dark shapes, and trying not to think too much of them in terms of what exactly they are. Whether it's a shaded side of a shadow side of a building. I've exaggerated the scale of the mid-ground or distant ground buildings, just to make it more interesting. Really, didn't see much point in putting in the details in the background in the distance, because it was just a bit too small. So I just keep going back into the areas, creating a sense of depth. And just to the left of my hand there, in the bottom left, was a rooftop car park. I didn't want to go putting in all the tiny little sort of cars and things, because I just felt that was unnecessary. It was tucked away down there in the corner. So I was just looking for an overall effect, something that was similar in terms of to the photo. And I paint this way a lot because I like my paintings to have a good element of abstract, and by keeping my shapes as simple as possible, I find that the best way to retain that sort of abstract quality. And just concentrating only on the darker areas now, the dark tones. Just hints here and there of, and just putting in a few more clues for the viewer. And I always think that these things, I'm just using a painter's knife there just to do a little bit of scraping out in some of the areas. But I feel as though this was paint put to good use. Otherwise it would have probably stayed in a little plastic container, developing and growing all sorts of cultures and being ended up thrown away. So put them out round it. There's the photo. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, and it gives you some ideas as to what to perhaps do with that paint that you would otherwise mop up on a piece of tissue and discard, it's good because you can paint without any real sort of preciousness. It was materials that would have otherwise ended up in the bin, perhaps. And as a person who hates waste, I think it's I always feel a bit better, even if the painting doesn't work out to be my best masterpiece ever. I always feel a lot happier having done something with the paint. Hope you enjoyed it, folks. Do remember to hit the like button. Help me sort of upload these videos every week. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Again, it helps to keep my channel running. And in the meantime, good luck with your painting, and see you next time.